the evolution of synthesis, in many ways, was a marvelous illustration of the way concepts were developed and replaced and where compromises were made by opposing viewpoints. And I realized that, and I decided in the early 1970s to organize a workshop in which the evolution of synthesis would be thoroughly discussed. And I tried to invite all the surviving architects of the synthesis, for instance, Rentsch in Germany, who promised he would come, but at the crucial moment became ill with shingles and couldn't come. I invited Julian Huxley, but he was also ill, and he died very soon after that. I invited George Gaylord Simpson, and he refused to attend, and first he claimed there was a conflict of dates, so I organized a second workshop so that he could attend, and he again said no, he's not going to attend. And then afterwards, he complained bitterly that the participants on the workshop had not properly explained and interpreted his ideas. Well, that's exactly why he was supposed to come. Well, he was in his paranoid condition, decided not to come. Well, there was one person I did not invite who was still surviving. He was in his mid or upper 80s, and that was Cyril Wright. And I had perfectly good reason for that. I've been in several conferences where Cyril Wright had participated, and he always talked endlessly, and I found him historically very often quite unreliable. For instance, he also always claimed that he never had changed his mind after his early papers in 1916 or 1918 or something like that. In reality, he had constantly changed his mind. However, so that genetics was properly represented, I invited something like, I don't know, 8 or 10 or 12 geneticists, including Dobzhansky and Stebbins and all the other best-known geneticists were invited. They were compared, well, several paleontologists were invited because Simpson wasn't coming. And so we had quite a very large group, and the proceedings and all the discussions were recorded on tape, with one exception, a very colorful presentation by the British geneticist E.B. Ford, where he describes his family background. He came from an aristocratic family, and it was really a marvelous account. Unfortunately, the tape recorder hadn't been turned on, but otherwise everything was taped, and the tape is still in existence.